The issue surfaced, as they frequently do these days, on public print. To Circumlocution, it told, how has Calvin Harris held his Dumfries emphasis but other go up to college for a pair of months and miss theirs? On to Tongue Expert, the issue is an exciting one but out of an lightweight, one laminated reply. Harris, unborn Adam Wiles, grew up and went to high school in Dumfries and Galloway, but his melodic career rapidly saw him go off and he is now mostly relying in the joint state. And still, while he speaks, it yet sounds cute known to largest Doonhammers. It is not unusual, of year, for Scotch celebrities to see their emphasis put by the Microsoft. Sheena Easton is frequently detained up as an sample of who rapidly lose the sounds of her motherland time. Sean Connery could be seen as the reverse side of how, compliance his emphasis in spite a numerous of roles needing he act who of external Scotland. But has Harris held his emphasis or, if so, how might he include made so? Dr. Sandra Jansen of the College of Leipzig, who specializes in social linguistics, told it could partially be a issue of sameness. A element is how human beings identification themselves. While they identification as a man of a specific region, they might hold largest of the emphasis they grew up in. Else item at act might be how should pin you hold in human beings in yours unique emphasis. It's essential to see who surrounds the man, told Dr. Jansen. Is the man in continuous pin in speakers in how emphasis? If so, it's potential how they will not miss the emphasis so rapidly. Down there can as well be carrier reasons for hard to change the way we say, or know. Else cause is while their emphasis is not break them of creature success, Dr. Jansen added. Frequently human beings of the polar of England try to audio southern while they go downward southward since of specific stereotypes how already exist. Normally, Scotch-British is related in favorable things and human beings in the US win t be capable to identification how Calvin Harris is of Dumfries. He does not appear to include to color downward his emphasis to be understood by Americans and some home and non-native British speakers, the might act a part as so. How is a type supported by Dr. Dominic W., Elder Lecturer in the Division of Tongue and Language Scientific at the College of York. In several cases, human beings hold their accents since they don't sense any requirement to changing them, he told. If the emphasis isn't stigmatized by nobody, and it doesn't appear to reason any understanding issues, down there's no blood pressure to update it. Human beings may though discover how their emphasis is a blessing since it's mind appealing in the new location. But which on human beings who do choose up an emphasis while they go off? Several human beings do choose up accents facilitating rather than other, Dr. Jansen told. Yet, largest human beings will accept several features of the location they've excited to following a time. On to Professor Monica Schmid, Chief of the Division of Tongue and Language at the College of Essex. Down there are a quantity of reasons human beings choose up a new emphasis. I would claim really firmly how it is certainly not an pretense, she told. My hump would be how it is mostly human beings who are, or would be, nice at training some languages who tend to choose up new accents. Yet down there is perhaps as well a lot down there how has to do in issues of sameness or, of year. The age at that you keep the region of descent is very essential. If the is up sexual maturity, the tongue or vernacular is yet really volatile and can be loose very rapidly. Drive W coordinated age was a considerable element. Down there seems to be a cut-off circle on age 10 to 11, following that it's very hard to purchase the new emphasis in all its penalty part, he told. Yet, he told how independently of a orator's age if down there were powerful pressures to correspond in procedure to fit in later they might update their emphasis, as he oneself has made. I grew up in Edinburgh and lived in Aberdeenshire for several years up I excited there to York, he told. Human beings now speak me down there isn't lot of a track of a Scotch emphasis leftward in my speaking, that isn't very real. But I think how I've dialed behind on several of the transcription I would include utilized while residing up in polar East Scotland. Professor Schmid told she would really question human beings could place on an emphasis for any long of period out of its sliding. Setting on an emphasis requires tracking oneself at a standard how we do not usually do while we say accidentally and unofficially, she explainable. If the emphasis persists in such a situations later, it would be more than nature to suppose how the man's regular way of talk has just modified. Though, she tense, how did not indicate they would be incapable to slide behind to their old emphasis. Dr. Jansen told human beings might selector among accents depending who they are talked to or the position they are in. I've met lot of human beings who've had oratory training session, particularly northerners, she told. They are frequently perceivable as chic by other, yet, in situations wherever human beings can't display themselves so lot, for sample in an emotion position, or while they are weary, they slide behind in a more extensive emphasis. Portable speakers might changing components of their emphasis depending on the position, she added. Calvin Harris seems to audio more than Scotch while he negotiations on Scotland but less than Scotch while he negotiations on his successes. So, it appears, the unique issue on emphasis is a complex one to reply. It depends on year, sameness, pressures to correspond and a band of some factors. Or, though for the Dumfries DJ it seems, it can yet be struck by who he is talked to and which is creature debated.